Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing great. That you are mastering this whole distance learning situation. Thanks for the emails that keep coming in, the feedback. If something is not right or something's working, I really appreciate that. Super helpful. We're going to pick it back up with our notes today. This is going to be for March 30th, which is Monday. Excuse me. So Monday, March 30th. And we are going to look, we left off last time just kind of finishing up with the kind of summary, I guess, of mitosis. Okay, and so I said that this stuff you definitely need to understand the advantages. At some point you'll probably have to explain that or identify what would be an advantage for mitosis. And now we're going to just quickly look at the actual phases or steps that a cell will go through when it goes through the meiotic cell division or going through that mitosis process. I'm not going to ask you telophase, anaphase, metaphase, prophase, and tell me what's going on there. This is just for your information, so I'm going to go kind of quickly. You will get into this in depth when you get into biology with Mr. Trainer, so just kind of keep that in mind. And there's going to be some videos that kind of show this process a little bit too. So this is the cell division cycle for mitosis. And remember, mitosis is done for all organisms for growth, for repair, replacement of cells, and then for the special group of organisms that use it for reproduction with asexual reproduction. We'll get into that part a little bit more, I think later today or tomorrow. So all of our cells will go through this, okay, except for our sex cells, the gametes, right, for us humans. So 3 parts. The interphase is preparation. Then mitosis is the actual cell division, and it's 4 parts. And then finally, the splitting of the cell as it divides into a new cell. Here's about how long it takes. For an adult human body cell, and remember, body cells are all the cells in our body minus the gametes. So for girls, it's eggs. For boys, it's the sperm cells. And it's about a 24-hour process. So you have about 18 to 20 hours in that preparation phase, and then only 2 hours of actual mitosis. And remember, one of those advantages of mitosis was that this process was fairly quick. And so you'll see when we get to meiosis or meiosis that that's a little bit longer than that. All right, so here's what's happening. The cell is actually going to double in size. The DNA is going to replicate. Okay, so here we see in the nucleus, here's our cell, here's the DNA. Lost my clicker. Maybe? Hello. There we go. Our organelles are going to double in number. So here generically it was showing organelles, now it doubled them. And the DNA is going to condense into the chromosome version. So it looks like those X's. Right? And then spindles are going to form. Right? The spindles are going to be important here in a minute because these centrioles, which are a type of organelle, are going to move to the opposite sides or poles. And the nuclear membrane is going to begin to disappear. And then finally, once the nucleus has totally disappeared, the chromosomes are going to get lined up in the equator or the middle of the cell. And at that point, the spindle fibers kind of attach and they're going to separate them. So I'm going to show you that part again. Oh, my clicker is not being friendly. So what would actually happen is from these centrioles, spindle fibers go and attach at the centromere, which is the center part of the chromosome. And so what it's going to do is it's going to split. And so one part of this is going to go this way, one part will go this way. And we call these chromatids because 1/2 of the chromosome is a chromatid, all right? And so from there, the nuclear membranes form around each group of chromosomes again. The chromosomes unwind into, kind of reminds me like a hairball almost formation. And then cytokinesis is when the cytoplasm, which is like the goo that everything floats around in the cell, starts to kind of pinch in the middle and then it splits it off. Kind of like, I think of like a water balloon when you twist it and you can get it real small in the middle. and then obviously when it gets small enough here, it actually separates. Our water balloon, you know, when you twist it, it wouldn't actually separate, it would just get small. But you're gonna watch it kind of pinch off there in the middle, okay? What you are left with is two different cells that are totally, or two new cells that are totally identical, because the exact same information that was here is the exact same information that was here, okay? Obviously you can see there are 2 songs and there are also 2 videos. These are going to be linked for tomorrow's information because these videos, because there are so many of them, and I believe this mitosis one is a little bit long, like maybe 7 or 8 minutes, that's going to be under tomorrow's information. And I will say, hey, these links go with, you know, notes number 8 through 14. All right, so you will be watching those tomorrow, or the next day, whatever, next in your order of things. This is just showing some pictures of what happens in a plant cell. So here's the cartoon version, and then here's actually slides under a microscope showing this process. So here's the interphase, it's the preparation phase, and then the prophase, the chromosomes have condensed into, the DNA has condensed into the chromosome form, all right? And so then you can see these spindle fibers line these, after everything is duplicated, the spindle fibers line these up at the equator, and then they actually pull them apart, and then here you can see stuff starting to split, and you can see the corresponding actual image of this happening on the microscope slide. So this is for a plant cell, and obviously we know it's a plant cell if you remember back from 6th grade because it has a nice stiff cell wall. On animal cells, it's the same process, but obviously we don't have that stiff outer cell wall, but you still see the same thing happening. The chromosomes here are just shown in blue, and a little bit more generically in those cartoon diagrams, but you can see the same process down here as well. All right, and so when some organisms use mitosis, they're using it for asexual reproduction. Obviously, most of the animals that we're around use sexual reproduction, not asexual, but I am going to give you some examples of some asexual reproduction. So mitosis is kind of special. It's used for all of us for that growth, repair, and replacement, but it's also used for these select organisms for asexual reproduction as well. So fission is one type of this. It's when an organism with no nucleus can divide into 2 identical organisms, and those are the group called prokaryotes. We also have, like for hydras, a process called budding, where a small exact copy of the adult grows from the body of the parent. So here's the parent, and then like an exact copy grows, and this is the offspring, and it kind of falls off, and it becomes its own hydra. And then regeneration, the same kind of thing can happen. A whole new organism can grow from each piece of the parent. So in this case, like just a piece of it lobs off. It doesn't grow off of the organism. It actually kind of splits or divides, and then it turns into an exact copy or clone of the original. Okay, so those are just a few examples. All right, so we are going to stop there at slide number 17. Again, you will be watching the videos for these in your next science lesson, whenever you choose to do that. All right, have a fantastic day. Keep the emails coming, and I will hopefully see you guys soon.